Planning to buy a Rolex? You might want to book a flight to Japan first. This place has become the go-to destination for buying Rolex watches at lower prices than almost anywhere else in the world. So today, we've broken everything down into 5 simple points to show you why this is happening. Now, do you know that the weak Japanese yen changes everything? The Japanese yen hit its lowest level in 37 years in July 2024, reaching over 161 yen per dollar. This is huge for anyone looking to buy luxury goods in Japan. The main reason behind this dramatic drop is the interest rate gap. Back in 2024, Japan's interest rate sat between 0% and 0.1%, while the US Federal Reserve's rates were between 5.25% and 5.5%. Now, in November 2025, while the yen has recovered slightly to around 154 per dollar, it's still historically weak. The Bank of Japan's policy rate has nudged up to 0.5%. However, with the Fed's rate still significantly higher, that interest rate gap continues to keep the yen weak and your buying power strong. When interest rates are this different, investors naturally move their money to where they can get better returns. This means selling yen and buying dollars, which makes the yen weaker and weaker. For watch buyers, this currency situation is like finding a massive discount code that works on everything in the store. Suddenly, a brand new Rolex in Ginza can be hundreds or even thousands of dollars cheaper than in New York or London. Now, before you start converting your entire net worth to yen, hold on. This is just the first piece of the puzzle. Sure, a weak yen is giving you a fat wallet feeling. But wait, the yen isn't the only cheat code Japan gives you. Japan's consumption tax is 10%, but if you're a tourist, you don't have to pay it. That's right, tourists can shop completely tax-free in Japan. This tax-free shopping benefit makes luxury goods even more affordable for international visitors. When you combine the weak yen with tax-free shopping, you're looking at serious savings. Think about it this way. A Rolex that costs $10,000 in the United States might be available in Japan for $8,500 after currency conversion. Then you save another 10% by not paying consumption tax. That's over $1,500 in savings just for buying the same watch in a different country. Of course, these savings assume you're taking the watch home as personal goods, not importing en masse for resale. No wonder tourists are flooding Japanese watch stores. This isn't just a small discount. This is the kind of price difference that makes booking a plane ticket worth it. And the best part? You're not buying a fake or a grey market piece. You're buying from authorized dealers and getting the full manufacturer warranty, just at a much better price. With a weak yen powering lower prices and friendly tax policies sweetening the deal, Japan stacks the deck in your favor. Yet, economics alone doesn't explain why Japan specifically is awash with affordable Rolexes. To truly grasp it, we need to understand the unique consumer culture fueling this phenomenon. Japanese consumers have a special relationship with luxury watches that tilts the scales towards buyer benefits. First off, Japan has been Rolex obsessed for decades. In a country where owning a car isn't practical for many city dwellers, a luxury watch becomes the go-to status symbol. Tokyo's professionals might skip the Porsche, but they'll spring for a Submariner or a Datejust without a second thought. Watches are a passion here, worn with pride by everyone from executives to trendy teens. So that high demand has built a huge ecosystem of dealers and resellers over time. Now, pair that demand with Japan's cultural penchant for quality and care. Your average Japanese Rolex owner is meticulous. They keep every bit of packaging, every paper, and treat the watch like a treasured heirloom. Scratches and dents, not on their watch. This means the second-hand Rolexes coming out of Japan are often in pristine condition. They're complete with box and papers, even for models a decade old. It's not uncommon to find pre-owned pieces in Tokyo that look practically new. So a 5-year-old Rolex from Japan might look better than a 1-year-old watch from many other countries. There's also a tendency in Japan to frequently upgrade or rotate collections. Tastes change, new models come out, and many enthusiasts are happy to sell or trade their current pieces to fund the next purchase. It's a cycle of buy, enjoy, maintain impeccably, then offload the watch back into the market when it's time for a change. This constant churn means a steady supply of pre-owned Rolexes flooding shops and online marketplaces in Japan. And let's not forget trust and transparency. Japan is known for honest business practices. Buyers worldwide feel comfortable purchasing from Japanese dealers because of strict authenticity standards and accurate descriptions. A reputation for trust means more international buyers tapping into Japan's second-hand inventory, further boosting the market. Put it all together and you'll have high demand, careful owners, frequent turnover, and trustworthy sellers. You've got a recipe for a robust secondary market brimming with quality Rolex watches. But what happens when you have tons of supply meeting that demand? It's quite obvious that strong competition drives prices down. Actually, Japan has a very competitive market for luxury goods, with retailers constantly competing to offer the lowest prices. Walk through areas like Ginza in Tokyo and you'll find authorized dealers, department stores and pre-owned watch shops all within blocks of each other. This competition forces everyone to stay alert on pricing. Additionally, Rolex has a long history of strong sales in Japan, which means there's a large supply of watches available in the country. This saturation doesn't just apply to modern models. Vintage and discontinued Rolexes also pop up in droves. Japan's long history with Rolex means you might find that 1990s GMT or an older date just chilling in a shop at a fair price because hey, there are 5 more in the bag. It's a far cry from cities where you'd be lucky to find 1 or 2 pre-owned examples of a given model. In Tokyo or Osaka, you have choices galore. One could say Japan's watch market is a victim of its own success. It's too good at collecting and reselling Rolexes, and for the buyer, that's fantastic news. The sheer volume puts downward pressure on prices, especially for second-hand pieces. Even new Rolexes at authorized dealers benefit indirectly, as the grey market competition keeps everyone on their toes. At this point, we've got a weak yen making prices friendlier, no taxes biting your wallet, a culture pumping out well-kept watches, and a market spilling over with inventory. Sounds like a dream scenario, right? But before you book a flight to Tokyo expecting to score a steel Daytona for pennies, there's one more truth to consider. Now, if you're thinking, why isn't everyone just flying to Japan and emptying the stores? Well, a lot of people actually are. Approximately 36.9 million foreign tourists visited Japan in 2024, surpassing the previous record, and a huge chunk of them came specifically to shop for luxury goods. Visitor spending reached approximately $13.5 billion from April to June 2024 alone, a 73.5% increase over the same period in 2023. People aren't just coming to see temples and eat sushi anymore. They're coming with shopping lists that include Rolex, Patek Philippe, and other luxury watches. However, these arbitrage hunters have been snapping up stock, which naturally starts to tighten supply and nudge prices up. The bargain bins aren't overflowing quite like they were when the yen first tanked. It's more of a controlled frenzy now. Rolex themselves haven't been idle either. The brand pays attention to global pricing discrepancies. In early 2024, Rolex reportedly adjusted retail prices upward in Japan by around 10% to narrow the gap created by the weak yen. That means some of the easier savings have already been eaten away by price hikes. The window where Japan was dirt cheap compared to everywhere else may be slowly closing as economies rebalance and the market self-corrects. There's also the customs reality. If you bring that shiny new Rolex back home, you might owe import duties or taxes, which can chip away at your savings. Season deal hunters know to factor this in or get creative with how they wear the watch home. In short, Japan's Rolex oasis is real, but it's a product of specific conditions that are always evolving. Right now, you've got a sweet spot with a perfect storm of weak currency, tax perks, enthusiastic sellers, and heavy competition making watches more affordable. But how long will it last? That's the million yen question. Trends can reverse, currencies fluctuate, companies adapt, and surges of foreign buyers can scoop up the best deals. For now, the savvy collector can absolutely take advantage of Japan's unique situation. It's not every day that luxury watches turn into a comparative bargain in a first world country. So, if you're a serious watch collector who's ever daydreamed of a Tokyo trip to hunt for your grailed Rolex, this might be the time to do it, at least before the rest of the world evens the playing field. Now, speaking of serious watch collectors, want to see what one of Hollywood's biggest stars wears on his wrist? Check out our next video on Brad Pitt's watch collection. Trust me, his taste in timepieces will surprise you.